Peace, family. This is Lions Den with another news and commentary. This article comes from the Topeka Capital Journal, which is cjonline.com. 3 Kansas men get decades in prison in Garden City bomb plot. And this incident happened in Wichita, Kansas. Somali refugees in Garden City said they are fearful for their safety after authorities revealed men were plotting in 2016 to blow up a complex where Somali Muslims live and worship in that city. On Friday, in the U.S. District Court in Wichita, the 3 men convicted earlier of the conspiracy received sentences of 25, 26, and 30 years in federal prison. U.S. District Judge Aaron Melgreen didn't follow the guideline and the government's recommendation for life sentences. Curtis Allen and Gavin Wright are in their early 50s, and Patrick Stein will turn 50 next month. The men will be in their mid up to upper 70s when they are released. Video of victim impact statements from some Somali played as the start of the sentencing phase Friday. The 3 men were convicted in a joint trial in 2018, but Melgreen presided over a separate sentencing hearing for each man during an all-day session Friday. It affected me personally, said one Somali man. I didn't feel safe where I was going to worship. And I'm going to be okay, said a woman. I want to know that I'm going to be okay. I was happy when I came to Garden City, said another woman. She has learned English, goes to school, learned to drive, and is now an American citizen. We need peace. We need life. We have dreams, she said. Garden City Police Chief Michael Utz made a 200-mile trip to Wichita to deliver a statement in person. Garden City is diverse, and as a result, he said, we thrive. He learned in October 2016 of the plot to blow up 312 West Mary Street. It is a heavily trafficked area used by school buses. It would have been catastrophic with hundreds of thousands of people killed or seriously injured, he said. In our community, hatred is not welcome, Us said, urging the judge to hand down the maximum sentence available. Planning for the bombing took months with the conspirators unaware. A paid informant for the FBI was taping conversations. They were motivated by an extraordinary hatred of the refugees' race, Muslim religion, and national origin, Melgreen noted. We want them to be praying and to meet Allah at the same time, prosecuting attorney Allen said. They talked about packing the bomb with razor blades and ball bearings to maximize the damage. Allen penned a manifesto and wanted to use mass murder to send a political message, the prosecutor said. Stein stood out to Melgreen as the most egotistic of the trio. Even after Allen was arrested, Stein wanted to move forward with the bomb plot, prosecutor said. Stein received the longest sentence of the 3. Stein grew up in southwest Kansas, and Melgreen referred to Stein's plethora of siblings. At least a dozen family members and friends, some living in the right area, attended the sentencing. Some had submitted letters to the judge, but none spoken in court. We thought it was better, said Stein's mother, Hattie Stein. She had tears as Patrick Stein addressed the courtroom. He offered apologies to his family for the hell he put them through, the harassment of the media, the rumors, and lies. The financial burden, I take full responsibility, he said. Nobody forced me to do anything of it. He called out their names and said, from the bottom of my heart and the deepest part of my soul, I am sorry. He asked the judge for leniency, and his attorney suggested a 15-year term in prison rather than life without parole. Stein had no significant criminal history, Melgreen said, but clearly he was the chief cheerleader. He was the one who expressed the most passion, the judge says, and he was filled with virulent hatred on the recordings, he said. Even today, I hear no remorse from him, Melgreen said, about his plan to commit mass murder. Stein was given 30 years on the count of conspiracy to use a weapon of mass destruction and 10 years to run concurrently for conspiracy to injure, oppress, threaten, and intimidate the residents of 312 West Mary Street. He will be on supervised release for 10 years after his release from prison. Hattie Stein said her son has been retained fluid and they haven't figured out the medical problem. And Stein's attorney requested that he be sentenced. He's been sent to a place with a medical facility. Curtis Allen and his twin brother, Kevin Allen, now of the Wichita area, grew up on a farm and graduated from Ashland High School. They then joined the U.S. Marine Corps. Curtis Allen was different after he returned from Iraq, and his attorney spoke of post-traumatic stress. The prosecuting attorney said Allen hadn't repented, showing remorse or accepted responsibility. He is absolutely entrenched in the view he held as a co-conspirator, the attorney said. They don't have the culpabilities, Allen's attorney argued, making a distinction between Stein and Allen. Kevin Allen was unable to finish his statement to the court, so an attorney read it. Curtis has a very strong personality and suffered from narcolepsy. His twin had written something about him changed after Iraq, Kevin Allen wrote. Curtis had difficulty holding a regular job, was forgetful, and spent a lot of time online, Kevin Allen wrote. He didn't think Curtis would have been capable of carrying out the plot. The crime he has been convicted of is horrible, Kevin Allen also wrote. Curtis Allen loved his country, his attorney said. There has been a constant throughout his life, the attorney said, suggesting a prison sentence of 10 years. Curtis Allen told the judge how sorry he was for the reason we're here today. He said he was just ashamed of himself and then emotional, was unable to finish reading the statement. His attorney picked it up. Allen said he should never have got involved in the plot. I'm smarter than that, he said, adding that if he could go back, he would. Allen faced the same 2 counts as Stein and Milgren, sentenced him to 25 years in prison with 10 years of supervised release. Curtis Allen has reconciled with a grown daughter who lives in Texas and has 2 grandsons he has yet to meet. He is requesting to be sent to prison in Texas. Some of the planning for the attack took place at Gavin Wright's mobile home business in Little. His counsel maintained that Wright came late to the planning, but Milgren said the plotting started in June and Wright was involved in conversations in July of 2016. In for a penny, in for a pound, Milgren said. Wright offered his business for the sort of discussions that could only have taken place at a private place, Milgren said. Wright's attorneys saw a 10-year sentence, Milgren, though, voiced concern about what he didn't hear. When Wright spoke Friday, I want to apologize to the court, Wright said. That's not who I am. He said he was embarrassed. He's also apologized to the people of 312 West Mary Street. Milgren said he thought there was a lack of remorse and that Wright was still in denial that he was doing these things. Milgren has planned to give Stein the longest sentence, Allen a shorter one, and Wright the shortest. But I'm not able to do that, Milgren said. Wright was given 25 years for the same charges as Stein and Allen, plus extra year in prison for the 3rd count of lying to the FBI. He will face 10 years of supervised release when he leaves prison. His family wanted him assigned to a prison near Southwest Kansas. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going because this is a long. So let me go ahead and finish this. Milgren was unmoved by defense attorneys' claim that the men were influenced by right-wing commentators on television and radio and were reading 2016 presidential candidate rhetoric online. Millions of people listening to the stuff, Milgren said. The left had incredible attacks on conservative Christians, Milgren also said. Milgram said he regarded the 1968 presidential election year as more contentious one than 2016. As for Russian interference on social media, Milgram said, interference in election is reprehensible, but the Russians, frankly, were doing nothing but more than political parties. Milgram didn't impose a fine on any man, but all three must pay $100 per count, $200 each for Allen and Stein, and $300 for Wright to a crime victim fine. Ruling in the terrorism case were expected to be appealed. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You got 3 men that's been sentenced for a plot to blow up Somali Muslims. That should have been terrorism charges. But you know what? And I'm glad they are going after these guys. Basically, they try to see, the prosecutors already is sending them a message that you cannot just use hate for a plot like this. So the plan has been foiled, and I'm glad that they finally sentenced these guys a longer sentence, some maybe 30 years in prison for this. And yes, this is an act of terrorism. But they're not going to say that because guess what? They're white men. They're not going to say this is a domestic terrorist attack or a plot of domestic terrorism. They're not going to say any of that. So I'm glad that the justice has finally been served in this case, and hopefully that they're sending a bigger message that you cannot just plan an attack and think there's going to be consequences because of someone's race and religion. Leave a comment, tell me what you think about this article, share this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, subscribe to my reaction channel, and subscribe to my Black Junction channel for all the news and commentary. With that being said, this is Lions Den signing off. Deuces.